CBS Sports, they actually put out their rankings of head coaches for 2022. Hey, Big Red, he made number 1, baby.
Big Red.
Go Big Red.
The Walrus.
Hey, you gotta love Andy Reid. I mean, let's get this straight. Andy Reid, as far as a player's coach, there's no one like him in the NFL. Like, players love him. He's just a cool, good dude, right? And he's real down to earth, and he's excellent. I mean, the track record, his career record's 233 and 135 and 1. So, 63% win percentage. He's 19 and 16 in the playoffs and 1 for 2 in the Super Bowl. So, not necessarily dominant in the playoffs, but I mean, he had so many good runs with the Eagles and the Chiefs. And I mean, Andy's just proven himself time and time again. We have Sean McVay at number 2, which they put right above Bill Belichick at 3. So my biggest thing with this list was it just for the 2022 season, or is that what they're projecting? What's in the NFL right now? These are the best coaches, because Bill Belichick, it's kind of hard to argue with this man. I mean, he's got a 67% winning percentage, 31 and 13 in the playoffs, and he's 6 and 3 in Super Bowls. So, I mean, if you're looking at that kind of stuff, I mean, he's hands down the best coach in the NFL.
I think this has to be a current going into the 2022 season kind of list. Is Sean McDermott on this list?
Give me 1 second. Mike Tomlin come in at number 4, number 5. John Harbaugh, which is absolutely ridiculous. Sean McDermott made number 6. Yes.
Well, okay. So look, if you're putting McDermott on the list and you're putting McVay that high, it's because that's what they're looking like now. But you can't say all-time coaches. McDermott is an all-time,
right. Or McVay number 2. Yeah.
Nobody's beaten Belichick all time, but a lot of Belichick is probably Brady related. So I can see why Andy Reid goes to number 1, because he literally turns teams around. Fun story about that. I don't remember what year we hired Big Red, but I remember I was sitting at a establishment called Roosters. They have a lot of good wings, chicken wings and stuff.
Dumpster fries, baby. The dumpster fries.
So I was there one night. I text Pops. I said, dude, I got a gut feeling we're going to hire Andy Reid. And he said,
there ain't no way that we're going to hire Andy Reid. Our front office management likes to screw the things up.
So he's that old school chief guy, that just remembers all the hate years,
Right.
But
very negative.
I just had this gut feeling we were going to hire Andy Reid, and I knew if we did, we were going to be transformed into a totally different franchise for years to come. And dude, we've watched it play out. Like Andy Reid, let's hope Andy Reid wants to coach for another 20 years.
I know. I hope he's one of those guys that just coaches as long as he possibly can, physically and mentally. Because
one of these days, Big Red, we're all getting old. He's going to quit.
Yeah.
He may be in 2060. He may pass away. But you know what? We're going to weekend at Bernie's him. He's going to be out there. We're calling plays for him, dude.
We'll turn on the music, put the sunglasses on him. I don't know, whatever we got to do. But no, for real though, enjoy this Chiefs era while you can, because we have an excellent coach. We got an excellent team. It's fun to watch. If you watched before Andy Reid got here, I mean, come on, guys.
Dude, we're like a decade away from having like Tyler Palco and Todd Haley as our head coach. I mean, Todd
Haley was the worst, bro.
Dude, we struggle. He's coaching in the USFL right now.
What about Herm Edwards or Romeo Crennel? I mean, guys, cherish Andy Reid, man. He's a treasure. He is a legend. So just know that. One quick thing. So if you had to pick somebody that could be coach of the year for 2022-23 coming up, who do you think? Like, obviously, I want to say I'd probably give that nod to Andy Reid too, because I think the Chiefs could definitely come out here and do something huge. Who would you think would be like a dark horse coach that could come in and swoop in and do that? Because I have a pretty good one.
Easily. Here we go. AFC North is absolutely loaded. I mean, Cleveland should look good, but let's be honest, they've done what Cleveland does and screwed over Baker Mayfield, and now they've got a situation with old Whacker Johnson up there that's ridiculous.
No.
So I mean, but
Jack
you've got
Handy.
but you've got the Ravens, you've got the Bengals, the Bungles, and you've got Mike Tomlin and them. If Mike Tomlin can find a way for that defense to be monstrous and can find a way to get that offense rolling with that rookie quarterback, and they could snake that division, Mike Tomlin will win Coach of the Year.
Dude, I'm a fan of Mike Tomlin. I feel like if Andy Reid were to move on, that'd be who I'd want to target.
100%. He's
very
he's a
Andy
coach I just
Reid-esque.
kind of like. I mean, he wants to win. He don't have a lot of words. He's kind of firm, but I think he's fair. And I like Mike Tomlin.
Is he not reminiscent of Reid? He might not be like the offensive mind like Andy Reid because he's more of a defensive coach. But I mean, as far as demeanor and being a player's first coach, I think he's right up that alley. You think Mike Tomlin could maybe get it this year?
I mean, if you win that division with a rookie quarterback, I mean, don't you have to?
So I'm throwing out a long shot here. I think it really depends on how the season turns out because they've loaded their team up with lots of good young draft picks. They even went out and made some signings this offseason. And he is in his first year coaching there. I think if Doug Peterson could come in and do something with the Jaguars, if he were to maybe get them to compete for the playoffs, he could very well be a dark horse.
But
because,
I think Jacksonville would have to go to the playoffs for him to get that. They'd have to win the division.
If they did, that'd be amazing for him. But I mean, people write Doug Peterson off, but I mean, he was great with the Chiefs as offensive coordinator. And then he went over to Philadelphia and he won a Super Bowl. And people still act like this guy is just, it's Doug Peterson. But I mean, Doug Peterson, he's 42-37 as a head coach and he's 4-2 in the playoffs, but he's 1-0 in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, he's not chopped liver, guys. He's got a shot there. So it just depends on what them young guys do over there in Jacksonville.
Ryan Poles, he went up to Chicago and he hired a fella called Matt Eberflus. And if that quarterback comes on in year 2 and they could somehow snake out a division win over Minnesota and Green Bay, Eberflus is a dark horse. And I just like saying the name.
I don't even know who he is.
Just say Eberflus one time and tell me you don't love it.
What is it?
Eberflus.
All right, let's move on. NFL projection saying the top 10 linebacker units. Guess who made number 9 on that list, Mike?
Chiefs.
Hey,
we're better than number 9. Hey, come on.
Death Row slid in at number 9, guys. Number 1 went to the 49ers, 2 to Colts, 3 Saints, 4 Packers, 5 Vikings, 6 Cowboys, 7 Bucks, 8 Seahawks, 9 Chiefs, 10 Rams. But I mean, they're getting some recognition because I mean, Chiefs defense is never known as a good defense lately. It's always Patrick Mahomes saving their butts and then things like that. And everyone talks bad about the Chiefs defense. Our linebacker core in particular has been very weak for a while now. But now we're being talked about as a top 10 linebacker core. So What do you think?
I think it's Nick Bolton. I think Nick Bolton is becoming a force. If he doesn't slump here in year 2 and he gets better, I think it all hinges kind of on how Willie Gay, is he going to stay healthy? Is he going to turn the corner? If he does, I think we're a top 5 linebacker core.
Very well could be.
With Leo Chenal coming in and if he, keeps thumping and learns the playbook and does what he needs to do, I don't see no reason we couldn't be a top 5 linebacker crew by the end of the year. So
I'm right there with you. I think it'll take some time for them young guys, but I think by the end of the year, they could definitely be a top 5. So I think it's a pretty good projection to have them at number 9. I think that was cool that they even mentioned them. I want to talk about this meme I saw real quick. The NFL memes put out. These people are notorious for putting out dumb stuff, but this one really took the cake. It's Patrick Mahomes now that Tyreek isn't around to bail him out is what it says. And then in the pictures I'll show you up top, it's him fading from Patrick Mahomes into Baker Mayfield. It's like, do they realize how stupid they're going to look by the end of the year?
I don't get that at all.
I don't understand it.
Baker Mayfield had a lot of good, receivers around him, but it was basically the way that their coaches ran the team. Like, as long as Andy Reid's here, we could have 5 undrafted free agents out there and Patrick Mahomes is going to put up. I'm
not worried about them knocking Baker Mayfield, but the fact that you want to try to say that Patrick Mahomes is Baker Mayfield without Tyreek Hill, you are an absolute fool.
Dude, doesn't that website just put up stupid stuff just to try to make people
I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if it's ran by like an old drunk guy or if the guy's just really that stupid. I don't know, but this one, I saw that and I had to bring it up. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, NFL memes, do something, be better. That's pathetic.
Hey, man, Delete that shit.